All right. Tell me your name.
Chaz.
Hey, Chaz. Tell me how we got here.
How we got here? I don't think it's going to be enough time for that. But I'm in recovery for the second time in my life. I had a relapse 5 years ago, but my road into addiction started way early in my adolescence. My family grew up were either dealing drugs or using drugs. The main drug of choice, though, for my family was alcohol. My father was alcoholic. His father was alcoholic. Most of my family on my dad's sides were all alcoholics. My mother was drank a lot as well. So I grew up. This is what it was. And one of my best friends, his father ran a liquor store. So we always had access to alcohol since I was 12. So this was like the norm for us. Eventually, I got into smoking weed when I was 15. I went on from there until I was about 23 when I got my second conviction. And I had to do 5 years in a state prison, which was involuntary recovery for me. Um, so after for 5 years, I really had no taste for it. But during those 5 years, I did a lot of self realization about my life, about my environment. That none of it dictates who I really am, who I am as a person. And I took that with me when I came out after those 5 years, and I had established a nice life. Built a career, built a family, got married, lived the American dream with the house and the cars and the career, which I thought um, I was building, but then uh, found out 10 years later into my relationship, uh, I was getting cheated on. But that didn't break me. I tried to get help and went to therapy. And but a year later, our oldest daughter had passed away while she was studying abroad in Africa. She was a junior in college at Dickinson College in Pennsylvania, and that was a bullet that I couldn't bite, and it took me downhill. And I started drinking again after 13 years of sobriety. I started drinking again, and started going way, way downhill. Was getting arrested, DUIs, fighting. It wasn't until jail time didn't stop me, arrest didn't stop me. I got into a relationship with my current fiance that I'm with now 4 years ago, who understood what I was going through, understood my situation. She didn't like how I was dealing with it. Um, but she stuck with me the whole time. She fought with me. She didn't force me. She didn't give me any ultimatums. Um, she knew who I was as a person um, outside of my addiction. So, because we've known each other for 20 years. So she knew who I was as a person underneath the addiction. So she knew what I was capable of. And she stuck with me. She didn't try to pull me out the hole. She just grabbed my hand and came down in the hole with me, and until I was ready to come out. And it took the third DUI when I got into a fight with about six Cecil County Sheriff's deputies in the parking lot, and kind of knocked some sense into my head because a couple of days later they came to my doorstep, 8 deputies deep, with her 5 year old. We were going to bed, and they came in banging on the door, and they came rushing in the house. And I asked the sergeant, like, what's going on, Sarge? What are you doing? Like, why are you coming with so many deputies? And he said, man, do you know how many deputies it took us to get you into that car last night? So from that statement, I said it could have been something something way worse. You know, so it could have been a situation that could have I could have hurt somebody, or I could have got hurt, or worse. And sitting in the CCDC cell that night, I was wondering, and I was just thinking about my oldest daughter and how she would have looked at me if she was looking down on me, and how she would be crying because she couldn't help me, because she couldn't do nothing, and knowing she would want to. So that kind of took me and made me realize I need to do different. I've come out of this before. I could do it again. And so I did, and I got into recovery, got to the Ashley program. I got into look through for grief counseling, which I've been avid in so far, and then I got into life coaching, because I figured, I've been through so much, I've struggled through so much, and but I've always found a way out. I always found there's always been where I thought I would never come out, but I did. And I know that there's other people. If I can, there's other people can too. And I know that my story, my life, my testimony can be, something that I can share with other people to allow them to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I got into life coaching, and studying that for the last 2 years. I was trying to find a home where I can hone my skills while I'm helping people, while I'm coaching. I couldn't find one, so I started my own business as a life coach. But 3 months after that, Voices of Hope came on my timeline, and I seen that they were looking for peer recovery specialists, and I never heard of peer recovery specialists until I seen Voices come up on my timeline. And when I seen what a peer recovery specialist does, I said, that is exactly what I am looking to do. I'm looking for, and I figured, I said, Voices can be my home. This could be my home. And so I applied, and did an interview with Aaron, and I'm here now. And hopefully, what I've gone through, my story, my knowledge, my experience can help other people find their way as well.